You know what's even more scary than Halloween? Waiting 2 weeks every single time for me to upload on this channel.
Cause this is no one's gonna save you.
But hey guys, and what's going on? And if you can't tell by my voice, I'm sort of having like an allergy problem, I guess. I hope I'm not getting sick. But that's one reason I haven't really been getting videos out, is because I just didn't feel like talking. My throat has been hurting so bad. But today we are doing a movie review, and this time, since it's Halloween, we are doing Goosebumps. Now, going into this movie, I knew it was going to be a bad movie because it's just not the kind of movie you would expect to have high production or anything. And after watching the movie, they probably put more money into advertising than they did the actual movie, because that is how bad this thing is. But I'm just going to quickly review this movie today, just try to get a quick video out there as soon as possible. But if you were expecting this movie to be scary, it's not scary whatsoever. You can let any little child watch this. It's not going to scare them at all, I guess. Really, the only thing scary, and I wouldn't even say scary, I would just say like creepy, is the puppet that R.L. Stine has created, and he's sort of like the main monster over all the other monsters in this movie. But I need to kind of explain all that first, just in case you haven't seen it. And if you haven't seen it, link in the description below. Go watch it. You may waste your time, so you might just want to watch this. It'll give you a quick summary. Now, this movie starts off with a boy named Zach moving in with his single mom because his dad died into I think it's Ohio area, maybe Maine or somewhere, I'm not sure. But he's moved from New York to this small town named Madison. And when he gets there, he has this house beside him, and it's just kind of creepy looking. And this girl talks to him from the window, and her name is Hannah, and they're sort of like flirting, I guess you could say. And then our main character, I would call him our main character in this, mostly because the rest of the movie is too bad to have a main character. R.L. Stine comes out. We don't know he's R.L. Stine yet, but this R.L. Stine is played by Jack Black. And problem I had with this is Jack Black can be no one but Jack Black. He tried to start out as an intimidating, scary person in this movie, and he could not do it, because Jack Black has to be Jack Black, the funny, weird, awkward Jack Black, and he could not pull this role off. And that's one thing I noticed about this film, because he was even better in the Muppets movie than he was this one.
What are you doing here? Go home.
Not until you explain what's going on.
I can't explain it.
We were almost just eaten by Frosty the Snowman, so try!
Okay, look. When I was younger, I created my own friends. Monsters. Demons. To terrorize my neighborhood and all the kids that made fun of me. And they became real to me. And then one day, they actually became real.
Then Zach has his first day of school, and his mom is the vice principal, and they meet this boy named Champ, and he's sort of the third companion in this 3-people group, which you see a lot of movies doing now, where it's 2 guys and 1 girl. So now we have Champ, Zach, and Hannah. And Zach starts to notice mysterious things going on at the house next door, and him and Champ go to investigate. And when they get there, they get surprised by Hannah and end up knocking over a case of books. Now, all these books are transcripts of all the Goosebumps books. And they knock one open, and a abominable snowman comes out, and they have to run away from that. And then they end up trying to chase it down and get it back into the book, because if you hold the book close enough to it, it'll suck it back into the book. And they end up getting trapped by the abominable snowman, and then Jack Black comes in to save them, and he reveals himself as R.L. Stine. And what he did as a boy is he was always picked on as a kid, so he created all these monsters in these books to terrify all his bullies that pick on him. And then they started to come to life somehow. The movie never actually explains that. And then they try to go back home when they realize another book's been opened, and it's the dummy. And forgetting his name because the movie's not that memorable. But this guy, this dummy, he gets all the other books, starts opening them, and then lighting them on fire. And once they light the book on fire, they can't get the monsters back into the book. And he ends up opening all the books, lighting them and catching them on fire, and terror through the whole town of Madison. And it's sort of just like goes on this crazy adventure of trying to get R.L. Stine a typewriter so he can type a new book to suck all the monsters back in. And really the main goal is just to get to the high school, get the typewriter, type the book up, and then suck the monsters back in. And that's pretty much what they do. And you wouldn't expect anything different from a movie like this. But one kind of plot twist is Hannah is actually a ghost that R.L. Stine created, and she had to get sucked back in with the rest of the monsters. And then that's pretty much it. That's all that happens in this movie. It's not really too plot twisting or anything. But then R.L. Stine ends up becoming a teacher at the high school, and he writes a new book that brings Hannah back, and everything's happy again. And that's it. Movie over. Not really that great. Now it's finally time to rate this movie and tell you how really awful it is. First off, let's jump straight into the acting. The acting, pretty bad. Not the best. But it's better than two teens getting a camera and acting in front of it. So I would probably give the acting a 5 out of 10. No, I'll give it a 4.5 out of 10. How about that? And then we have the theme. And I didn't really pick up on a theme in this. And there's kind of like a theme of letting go and stuff with his dad and everything. But it's not pushed hard enough to where you can really pick up on it. So I'd give it a 2 out of 10. And then we have the story. The story, it's not great. And it's sort of just them focusing on getting that typewriter and typing the book up. And we don't even ever get an explanation of why these monsters are alive in the first place. And we're never explained why they can come in and out of the book and why we can suck them back into the book. They never really explain anything, so it's hard to follow up with the story. And I'd give it a 4 out of 10. And then the music's okay. I liked it. It was like a 4.5 out of 10 because it's just got that spooky vibe to it, but it's not really something that you pick up on and notice and you're like, ooh, I like that music. No, it's more like it's just there to go along with the movie. And then finally the props and everything. I think they actually did a pretty good job on the computer editing with this. It was much better than other movies, and actually I'd give that a 7.5 out of 10 because that was pretty good. That was one highlight of the movie. And that gives this movie a overall of 4.5, making this a really, really bad movie. It's not a horrible, awful, the worst movie, but it's nowhere near being a great movie. And no, I really wouldn't recommend this movie for you unless you really just don't have a Halloween movie to watch. And I guess I would suggest it. It's not really Halloween vibe whatsoever. It's just sort of Goosebumps, sort of. Not, I guess a Goosebumps fan would like this movie, but besides that, it's pretty bad. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like. If you hated this video, leave a dislike. Tell me why in the comments. I love criticism, and I will see you guys later.
Now don't close your eyes and don't try to hide.
For a silly spook, place it by your side.
Surround